Hello everyone, this is Kissy. I just wanted to share a quick message in regards to the energy of jealousy, the energy of fire. And I associate jealousy with fire because it instigates a lot of wrath from people that have extreme levels of possessiveness, control issues. So what I've come to understand with the energies, when I say fire, I'm going to talk about how that expresses itself in fire. Because from the perspective of air or earth or water, it expresses itself, it's perceived differently than what it actually is. So for example, let's begin with a fire sign is enthusiastic when they share love or when they express love. It's verbal, it's loud, it's proud, it's grandiose, and it makes you feel good. But then there's another version of that. The insecure fire version of that would deem that expression too much, would judge it as too much, overdoing, exaggerating. From that perspective, and the thing is that when a fire sign feels appreciated, it's one of the most genuine feelings. When they feel seen, when they feel loved, when they feel you, when they feel that you genuinely love them and it's pure, they cannot help but be extremely appreciative of it and really like overflowing with appreciation. And that would be wonderful if it's reciprocated in the same way. You know what I mean? The problem is when the fire sign does this to someone, maybe of a different element, but if it's the same element, that element blocked, meaning a blocked fire sign, or any of the other elements, would see that and judge it as not the receiver of it so much. If the receiver is blocking the fire, like they're angry at the fire, or they don't trust the fire, or they don't like the fire for whatever reason, they're going to block it. They're going to block it. But how they look at it depends on the sign. They're going to look at it. Water signs can see it as invasive. Air signs can see it as thirsty. And fire signs that are blocked might see it as fake. Earth signs look at it as what you're doing it for something. You're doing it because you want something. It's distrustful. And none of those are true. From the perspective of the fire sign that is doing this, that is genuinely projecting that, that's a level of appreciation that most people don't reach. That's a level of gratitude that most people can't reach. That's a level of, I'm in love with life itself. I can't describe it, but it is what it is. And so it takes one to know one kind of thing, right? I can look at a fire sign getting praised or getting loved, and I can see their reaction to that love, and I can see that it's genuine. I can see that same fire sign expressing that gratitude to someone that doesn't love them in the same way, And I could see how it would shut down their fire instantly, how it would make that fire get put out. And the person doing it may not realize. See, especially when the fire sign is unaware of why you don't want their light, because for some reason they feel this way towards you. They thought you felt that way towards them because something you did or said made them think it was equal. Maybe it was for a split moment for you, but for that fire sign, it doesn't just go away. It's when it's expressed, it's because it's real. So I wanted to go a different angle with it. I hope I can make sense of it when I say it. But there's there could be two different fire signs, and they don't necessarily, let's say a fire sign that I talked about, a fire sign that is blocked versus one that isn't, observing a fire sign giving or receiving love. The blocked fire would see the giving to the fire as ass kissing, and the gratitude of the fire to the one appreciating the fire as fake, because they aren't, like I said, they're blocked in their own fire. They don't go that deep. Because they don't go that deep, they cannot reach that high. So they don't understand it. And not understanding it makes them have that kind of judgment towards it. And a fire sign that is aware of this, that knows, oh, you have the potential to feel this for me because I felt it from you. But why is it that you shut it down? Why did you turn it off? Why did it go away? It's like the person cannot get their flame back when they decide that doing that is it's a trauma response to either expressing and being embarrassed by expressing it, being humiliated in some way, or being not received the way they thought it should have been received. Those are the things that can make a fire blockage remain blocked if they're not aware that they're not at their full potential, and that it's the most normal, most authentic expression of love. So the other aspect that I wanted to mention has to do with jealousy, as I was talking about. Jealousy and possessiveness is, let's say you have the fire sign that shares love with a group. I give you love, I give you love, I give you love. The fire sign that has the love to give is sharing it, is prioritizing their ability to love themselves, what they do, and who they love, and do it in a way that is not in conflict with others. But if giving love becomes a conflict for others, the fire is going to get out of there because it doesn't want to be in a space that creates chaos. It wants to warm the space. It wants to give nurturance to the space. It wants to give a heartwarming sensation, not conflict. So what I notice is, for example, a couple has a child, and now the mother wants to give that brand new child all the undivided attention because that child is a priority, is an innocent, and the father getting jealous because the love isn't going to him. The dynamics of that affect, like, you need to become aware of how you feel when you feel that the love source you receive, that you think belongs to you and only you, is being given to someone else or is being shared amongst others, because it's not something to possess. It's not something to own, and it's not something to call your own if you need to covet it out of another. So it's like if you're a child and your father is giving love to the whole family, for you to be jealous of how your father is giving love to this person versus that person, that's something that you feel, well, that source belongs to me, or that should be given to me, or why is it not given to me in the same way? That's what needs to be addressed with, first with the other person, but then if if that fire sign is not blocked, they're going to say, I'm giving you my love according to how much love you give me, how much love and not necessarily like because you give me, I'm going to give you love. No, it's I love you, but I'm not going to overflow of love for you if I notice that when I do it, you're not willing to receive it. You're embarrassed by it, you're shy, or you're repressed by it, or you're somehow antagonistic towards it, or you don't want it, or you act like it's uncomfortable, or you act like it's a problem. So jealousy can come from a person not addressing, I want more love of you. I want your love to be more available to me. So if my children are arguing over you give more attention here than there, my way of looking at it has always been the new child that comes into the picture, right? Like here I am, let's say I'm about to have a child. I'm married. I'm giving my love source is being shared with my spouse, and then a child comes along. My love source is now distributed to myself, my spouse, and my child. My spouse is supposed to be mentally aware and emotionally capable of not allowing what I don't give to him and watching me give to the child. It's supposed to look to him as natural and normal and what is going to strengthen the family unit. Understand the reason why the child is getting more attention, because a child is the one that deserves that attention. Only a man with nothing going on with himself is going to be threatened by that. So now let's say child number 2 comes into the picture, and now child number 2 has to receive the love. If child number 1 isn't jealous and decides, I'll take a back seat to allow this child to get attention, if they take the back seat too much to that second child, and then whenever the affection or attention is being given to the first child, the second child decides, no, give it to me. I'm the priority. Only me. That first child may go deeper into isolation or deeper into the background, only because they don't want to ruffle feathers and they want to, allow space. But then that second child that is demanding or now expects that, because they were or are the priority, that the first child is always supposed to take a back seat to them. And it doesn't work that way either. So say child number 3 comes along, and now the priority goes to child number 3, meaning that most of the attention and energy goes to the new member of the family, the youngest, the child. Child number 1 may not be even bothered or conscious of, taking a back seat to the new member of the family. But now they might feel a certain resentment, because now child number 2, whenever child number 3 is getting attention, child number 2 is doing the me thing. And now you got to stop attending to child number one that needs the attention because they're crying, they need a diaper change, or they need food, and child number two insists, no, I'm the priority. Remember, it was okay to do that when child number one is mature enough to step back. Child number three cannot do that because they're not aware yet, or they are a baby. Child number two now gains jealousy or behaves in jealous ways towards child number three, which child number one didn't do because child number one isn't that type of energy. It's a type that would give up their seat for another kind of thing. And we don't want that kind of dynamic. So that burden on only the fire sign to be the distributor of this love or this attention, eventually, if it's not supported, if father, for example, would not have been jealous of child one, imagine, okay, let's just say, if father was still in the picture, jealous of child one, would try to keep the fire from going to one, making rules stating that no, child doesn't need all this because it's just, it's a child. I'm the priority. I'm king. Child number one needs tough love. Child number two comes along and is demanding. No, child number two needs to be punished because child number two now is too much chaos for my comfort. And so therefore, when child number three comes along, can't really resolve the dynamical shifts and put things in order. So abandons ship kind of thing. Leaving mother, fire, to generate that energy. And as disassociation from, or independizing, individuating from, like, okay, you cannot keep latching on. You need to fly the coop kind of thing. If they leave before they're prepared, they're leaving with these unaddressed dynamics. One going into the world, always taking a backseat to others because they believe that's the right thing to do, even though it is not fair to them. They need to speak up and demand their space at the table. Child number two is going out there in the world expecting to be a priority and having to be met with either everybody has to conform like child number one did, or I'm going to be jealous and hate on child number three and the source because source is prioritizing child number three over me. Therefore, I hate everyone. And now I'm going to, be a wrath upon the earth. Child number three is least affected in the sense that, well, no, I can't say least. They don't have anything to antagonize them. Like, in other words, if there's no child number four, so to speak. So if child number three doesn't get challenged by the newcomer into the dynamics, then all is gravy. All is fine. Other than dealing with the antagonism of child number two and the possible resentment of child number one, and the not even understanding why the father's not in the picture. Then feeling the responsibility out of the love for the source to be and share that source with the mother. In other words, be the loving source to the mother. That they're able to perceive is lacking from the others, because they have the perspective of coming into something that's already established and watching how it is and having the capacity to see those dynamics, but not being aware that when a fourth member enters the picture, or the next person, whether that be a husband for mom or a new baby in the house, it signs of whether or not the child will be jealous or take a back seat and then internalize that in a negative way, depends on the dynamics and the ability to communicate those emotions with that child. Because at this point, from the mother perspective, you can see through the trials and errors where you can see where the dynamics should have been reinforced positively or should have been dismantled when they were being expressed in negative ways. And even if it was addressed, if it was only one-sided acknowledging the severity of the matter, or it was just one-sided trying to resolve it because everybody else wants to gaslight and behave like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not jealous. I'm not angry. I'm not bitter. I'm not this. I'm not that. I'm not antagonistic. Those are lies. Unwillingness to cooperate, unwillingness to be real, unwillingness to open up, unwillingness to be loving. And that's how I see those dynamical shifts when it comes from the perspective of fire. So that's all, folks. I'll come back soon.